Stop scrolling. This is not motivation. This is urgent. Before you sleep tonight, something hidden is already moving. 99% of people will never hear this, and that's why their lives stay stuck. If you're here right now, this was not random. Listen carefully. While most people sleep, a silent shift is happening. No warning, no announcement. Once this night passes, it won't repeat the same way. Chosen ones feel it first. Pressure, restlessness, a strange pull. That's not anxiety, that's activation. God is rearranging something you can't see yet. But here's the danger. Ignore this moment, and the door doesn't slam. It quietly locks. Stay till the end. What you do tonight decides tomorrow. Let me tell you something most people never learn. God almost never moves loudly. He doesn't announce, he doesn't warn, he doesn't explain first. He moves strategically. When people expect noise, he uses silence. When people expect speed, he uses timing. And when people assume nothing is happening, that's when everything is shifting. Think about this. The moments in your life that changed you the most. They didn't arrive with fireworks. They arrived quietly, almost unnoticed, and you only understood them after they passed. Right now, you are inside one of those moments. That's why this feels strange. That's why you feel alert, but tired, focused, but unsettled. Because when God moves behind the scenes, your spirit feels it before your mind understands it. When answers feel delayed, when prayers feel unanswered, when progress feels frozen, most people panic. They assume God stopped listening. But here's the truth most people don't know. Silence is not absence. Silence is preparation. Right now, something is being removed from your path. Not added. Removed. A distraction. A delay. A person. A pattern. Something you once wanted, but no longer need. Something you prayed for months ago. Something you begged for. Something you almost gave up on. And yes, it hurt when it didn't happen. You questioned yourself. You questioned timing. You questioned God. But here's the twist. The delay wasn't denial. It was protection. If that door opened earlier, it would have crushed you. If that opportunity arrived sooner, it would have cost you peace. If that relationship continued, it would have drained you. God saw a version of the future you couldn't see yet. So he slowed it down. Not to punish you, not to test you, but to prepare you. Because blessings don't just require desire, they require capacity. And earlier, your heart was pure. But your strength wasn't ready. So God waited. He waited until your patience matured, until your discernment sharpened, until your spirit strengthened. And tonight, something shifts. Not dramatically, not loudly, but precisely. This is what alignment feels like. A strange calm mixed with pressure, a sense of anticipation you can't explain, a pull toward reflection instead of distraction. That sudden tiredness you feel, that urge to pause, that instinct to listen closely, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Because before visible change appears, there is always an internal adjustment. God always adjusts the inside before he rearranges the outside. And this is where most people miss it. They look for signs in the world, but ignore the signal in their spirit. They want proof before awareness. But God doesn't work that way. He sends awareness first, then movement, then manifestation. But here's the twist. This moment is responsive. It doesn't force itself on anyone. It only responds to those who acknowledge it. Two people can hear the same message. One scrolls past. One leans in. One dismisses it as just another video. The other feels something lock into place. Same moment, different response, different outcome. Silent observers miss it. Not because they're bad people, not because they're unlucky, but because silence requires recognition. God whispers before he speaks, and whispers demand attention. Active believers receive it because they pause long enough to feel what's happening. And if you're still here, still listening, still watching, you already passed the first test, awareness. Most people never reach this point. They rush, they distract, they numb themselves. But chosen ones, they notice. They feel when something is shifting. They sense when timing is sensitive. And tonight, timing matters. This isn't about fear. It's about alignment. You're not being rushed. You're being positioned. Because once alignment completes, movement follows quickly. And when God finishes working behind the scenes, results appear suddenly. No build-up, no warning, just change. That's why this moment feels heavy. Heaven is adjusting variables you didn't even know existed. And once it's done, life doesn't explain itself. It just moves forward. So don't dismiss what you're feeling. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't let logic silence intuition, because the hidden movement is already in progress. And you didn't arrive here by accident. You arrived because something in you was ready to notice. And this is only the beginning. This part is uncomfortable. But you don't need comfort right now. You need truth. Because truth is what changes outcomes. Every real breakthrough, not surface success, not temporary relief, comes with a test of awareness. Not effort, not hustle, not money, awareness. This is where most people misunderstand God. They think blessings arrive randomly. They think luck decides timing. They think effort guarantees results. But God doesn't work on effort alone. He works on recognition. God always sends signs before he sends results. Always. The sign is subtle. The result is visible. The sign feels like a nudge. The result feels like a shift. But here's the problem. Most people miss the sign. They scroll past it. They distract themselves from it. They sleep through it, literally and spiritually. They tell themselves, I'll deal with it later. I'll think about it tomorrow. This probably means nothing. And then tomorrow comes, and it looks exactly like yesterday. Same patterns, same frustrations, same delays, not because God didn't move, but because they didn't notice. Chosen ones are different. They pause. They feel the moment tighten. They sense when timing becomes sensitive. They recognize when something is asking for attention. They don't rush past it. They don't numb it. They feel the weight of the moment. And that weight is important, because weight means value. What feels heavy is usually what matters most. Here's the scary part. Awareness knocks only a limited number of times. Not forever, not endlessly. God doesn't beg, he invites. And once awareness shows up and you repeatedly ignore it, life makes a decision for you. Not punishment, not judgment, comfort. Life chooses comfort over destiny. And comfort is dangerous. Comfort keeps you busy, but unfulfilled. Comfort keeps you safe, but stagnant. Comfort keeps you moving, but nowhere new. You don't fail. You don't collapse. You don't lose everything. You just repeat cycles. Same lessons, different faces, same emotions, different days. That's why some people feel like they're trying, but never advancing. Because advancement requires response, not just effort. But here's the twist. Right now, you are still early, still selected, still positioned, still eligible. This moment hasn't passed. The door is still open. But eligibility does not mean ownership. Being chosen doesn't mean automatic. Eligibility requires response. And this is where timing matters. God doesn't ask for complicated actions. He asks for intentional ones. Small actions that prove awareness. Simple actions that signal readiness. Because action is language. It tells heaven, I noticed. It tells your spirit, I'm awake. It tells life, I'm not delaying this time. That's why you're being asked to do something simple, but powerful. Not to impress God, not to earn love, but to lock alignment. Because alignment doesn't lock until awareness becomes action. Faith without response stays theoretical. Belief without movement stays mental. But awareness with action, that's when things start shifting fast. And here's something most people don't realize. Moments like this don't feel dramatic. They feel subtle, easy to dismiss, easy to postpone. That's why most people miss them. They expect lightning. They expect noise. But destiny usually whispers. And only the aware lean in close enough to hear it. If you feel slightly uncomfortable right now, good. That means this message is doing its job. Comfort never changes lives. Awareness does. And right now, you're being given another chance to choose differently. Not with pressure, not with fear, with clarity. Because once alignment locks, movement follows naturally. And when movement begins, you won't need signs anymore. Life will start responding. Doors will open without forcing. Clarity will replace confusion. Momentum will replace stagnation. But it starts here, with awareness, with response, with choosing not to scroll past the moment that quietly changes everything. This warning isn't here to scare you. It's here to wake you up. And if you're still listening, still present, still feeling that pull, you haven't missed it. Not yet. The question is no longer, is God speaking? The question is, will you respond? Before you sleep tonight, your spirit must signal readiness. Not tomorrow, not someday, tonight. Because when your body rests, God works. Heaven moves faster when faith is declared, not hidden. So here's the activation. Comment 5 times. God is working for me tonight. Not once, 5 times. Why 5? Repetition signals seriousness. Seriousness unlocks movement. Every comment is a signal. Every repetition aligns timing. Don't overthink it. Chosen ones act. But here's the twist. Those who mock this step miss what follows. Because obedience looks foolish right before miracles happen. If you're still here, this moment found you on purpose. You didn't stay by accident. You stayed because something in you recognized timing. Tonight, the shift happens quietly. No noise, no dramatic signs, but tomorrow feels different. Clarity feels lighter. Peace sits deeper. Strength feels calm, but unshakable. You won't chase confirmation anymore. Confirmation will start finding you. Remember this. God does his deepest work when the world goes silent. So before you sleep tonight, say this in your heart. I'm ready, then seal it. Comment 5 times. God is working for me tonight. Because chosen ones don't just listen, they respond. Rest now. He's already moving behind the scenes.